everything live?
I'm on. And I'm going to type a welcoming message here. Just a minute. I wonder if I could do that before I actually go live. But
What?
there we go. There we go. Hello, welcome everybody to the Yarnspinnerstales Cocktail and Teach-In. And I want to let you know that this is going to happen every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And I know what we will be teaching. Do you know, I don't think it's any other place than the spinning community that we could put the word cocktail and teach together. But we're going to do it. So grab whatever. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. And I most certainly don't always have alcoholic, but I do like a cocktail now and then. I have, if I can get it up here, my Kentucky Derby glass and a gin and tonic in it. One of the things that we collect, my hubby and I, is glassware. And a lot of glassware. Well, it was kind of nice to have all these special glasses to use for cocktails. But that's enough of that. Let's get to the teaching. If you look right here, you can see I've got Hebridean fiber. Let me say that about 14 times, and then maybe I might say it right. Hebridean? Hebridean. I don't know how it's really pronounced, but I'm probably not going to say it much more after this. You can just look down there and read it yourself, okay? All right. The Hebridean, was part of the 52 weeks of sheep, and let me get that sheet. Because we get this really nice information sheet that we can print off in that Facebook group. And we study a different breed of sheep every week. And what I've been doing is making a breed file where I take the fiber, I do various things with it, I'll comb it so I can spin it worsted, I'll card it so I can spin it woolen, I do a little knitted swatch, and I keep this information in a big file box so that I can go back and look at it. Did this years and years and years ago, and not all of the breeds that are on the 52 weeks this year has been done before, but some of them have, and it's been interesting to go back and revisit that. But this particular breed of sheep is a very ancient breed, very old, and of course it is from the Hebrides, which is the island that's off of Scotland on the west side there in the water. So it is the Hebrides breed of sheep that brings this fiber. But those sheep got there from the Vikings. So you can imagine how long they've been there. They're small sheep. They're sheep. Oh, I see my cat. He just walked out though. You're not going to be able to. Sometimes he'll sleep on that bed, and maybe I can move the camera so you can see him. But he had to see who I was talking to. He does that when I'm on the phone too. He comes and sees who I'm talking to. All right. Sheep from the Hebrides. They were brought there by the Vikings, and the people that were living there took the sheep and they crossbred with a lot of others. There used to be a huge variety of color except for white. The colors were more like browns and rusts and almost what they called a blue-black and that sort of thing. They bred the sheep with whatever they had local, I'm sure, but they do say that they probably bred them with the black Welsh Mountain in order to get this really black color. The sheep are multi-horned, which is always cool. I mean, they look so ancient, don't they? An ancient breed when they have more than one horn. And they have, they are good, very, very good for grazing on what they call poor pasture, or if they want to clear land or that sort of thing. And of course, they're very good with whatever the weather is and whatever that brings in. So that's the Hebridean. A little bit of information. I have to be careful that I don't talk too fast. On the other hand, I want to try to keep this to an hour, and I have a lot to do here. The very first thing I want to show you about this, here's a lock. Let's get these locks out here so that you can see. Let me pull that lock. Okay, so that's a whole lock. But this is a dual coated sheep. Now, not all of the fiber has the tog and thel and is part of the dual coat, but you can see that in certain areas probably where it didn't get rubbed off, or it's made to give them a lot of protection against the weather. This long bit is called tog, and it is coarse. It is not soft. The part that's in the back here is called thel. Now, this is usually associated with the Icelandic, and everybody has probably heard of tog and thel with the Icelandic. And I don't know that they always associate this breed of sheep as being dual coated, because every sheep that's raising a fleece is different genetically, and some will have it and some won't. That was one thing they said in the thing. It is another ancient trait of the sheep to lose or shed their coat. It's called ruing, and they just automatically lose the wool instead of having to be sheared. Now, they may have bred that out also, and of course this looks like it's been sheared, I'm sure. I got this from Britain. I got it from a vendor called Witchwood Spinner in the UK, and she sent me a lovely big package of it, after of course I paid her. So what are we going to do with this? Well, I could spin it this way and include this bit, and comparing it to Icelandic, this is pretty soft. The Icelandic tog that I recently just worked with felt like twine. I mean, it was rough. And this is not. It's kind of slick and smooth. So I could spin this whole thing, or I could separate it, which is what I did with the Icelandic. And you just do that by pulling. You just grab this tog really tight and pull it out. Now, you are left with the softer bit. I'll make sure I can be seen there. There's the softer bit. And you're left with the hairy bit. And the hairy bit, like I said on the Icelandic, I made some twine. I actually made some 4-ply cabled yarn that was resembling twine. I don't know what I'm going to do with this except set it aside right now. If you notice, I have 2 piles here. I got this ready beforehand. This is 1/2 ounce, and this is 1 ounce. And this, I'm going to try my hand cards. And I took less of that, the 1/2 ounce, because I think it's not going to like cards, and I don't think it's going to want a card. So I'm going to do that first. Let's get to what I don't think is going to work over with first. Here's some that I've already pulled apart. See how it's just, and if it's shorter, it should do pretty good on my cards. And I see that I pulled it apart, but see, there's some of the tog that I want to get out. I just, wherever curly little bits stick up there like that, I go ahead and pull it out. And that's why I said this is going to take me a little bit. You can also see some of the dirt coming out. Let me set that aside. Here's a nice easy clump to do. Pull there. And sometimes you have to do it twice. You don't get it all. See? Just like that. And here's another one. Oops, I'm going to lose some. There's another one. And there's a lot of fiber there, so you may not want to loosen up too much. I may take a couple pulls. All right. Now what this is, I had noticed, is shorter stuff. See how short that is? It really is short. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Some of it, it's not all that way. Don't you love these browns and grays? Oh my goodness, I just adore the color of this. And plus I'm getting out a little bit of the, now some, see that really short bit there? I'm going to put that in the trash. Okay, I'm going to move this aside for the moment so that we can just focus on this. And go ahead, there's some real short stuff. Go ahead and get this. I hope you all can hear the music. I am playing a CD that I thoroughly enjoy. It is from a very past part of my life when I was single and I was playing music all the time because I hated TV. I didn't own a TV. My parents thought that was a tragedy and went and bought me one, but I think they thought I couldn't afford one, but I don't like TV. So it also was pre-music streaming. Couldn't have your Amazon streaming and all that, or watching movies. All right, a little bit more here. This feels springy. It's clean. It's not sticky. No lanolin. That was a bug shell. It looked like a ladybug. Don't panic. It wasn't a moth. Okay. So, ooh, dust, dust, dust. I'm going to reach back here and get my hand cards. Now, the reason I think this is not going to work well is because I have hand cards that have a very fine tooth to them. I started all of this out with Angora fiber, and which is, itty bitty little short fiber, like that much, So these worked perfect for that. Never really bothered getting anything else, but there are times when it's a little bit of a disadvantage for longer fibers. And what happens is they don't like to stay up on the cards. They want to go down below it. Okay, so you saw me load fiber on there, and I didn't load a whole bunch. This first run through, I'm getting a feel for where the fiber is going to go, what it wants to do. So I have a little bit of fiber. I'm holding the left hand up, right hand down. And camera work may make that look backwards, but then I am pulling, and that is called herding. And as you can see, usually you only have the fiber coming off of the cards right even with the base of the cards. So the trick is, when you roll it off, you're going to take your left hand straight up and your right hand brushing it. Let me go this way so you can see. Brushing it down. And I have what I call a very crappy roll-up, because there's just no consistency to that at all. I mean, it's not consistent. Let's see if we can do a better one without me bending my cards in a strange angle. Nope. That didn't go either. Now, I can go ahead and make roll-logs like this. I can try it one more time. See if a second carding makes any difference. I can add a little more fiber to it, which is probably not the best idea, but it will give more body to the roll-logs to have more fiber there. I took all the fiber off of, I can't find my camera, off of my right-hand card. It's all on my left-hand card, and I'm going to recard some more. My goal is to get as much on the one card as I can. Do it a few times. Instead of taking a roll log off of both, I'm going to take it off of one. And that gives me a little bit better. Now we got some hangers on there, which has a little nub, so I'll take care of that. And what you can do, of course I always check it out for bits I don't want in there. What you can do is roll it. Trying to find the camera. Roll it like that, just between your hands. And oh, that's from what I was working on this afternoon. Yeah, so show you how it'll draft. And what I don't like about the draft, see the thicker areas? Right there? See that? That's what I don't like about the draft. And that comes from the fact that you don't have a really, really good compact roll log going with that. Having said all that, I still am going to go ahead and do this. So, here's your chance to just relax a little, and nothing new is going to really happen while I make these roll logs and get myself a drink. I found some more tog. Looks like that was pulled out before. Okay. It is extremely warm here, and I do have the air conditioning running, of course, but oh my goodness, we are in serious heat wave right now. Alright, let's pull that off. Pull that little fiber bit out. Vegetable matter out. And a little bit of loose there. Okay, this doesn't waste anywhere near what combing does. But if you're going to process your own fiber from a fleece, even if you buy it already washed, like I did for this, you are going to have waste, and you have to learn to live with that. Hubby hates me to put anything in the trash can. I think he knows what I spend for all my little fiber adventures, and I think he's figuring that, nothing should be wasted. But your yarn is only as good as what you put in it. And sometimes you're working on, I'm switching combs here. I'm switching cards here, sorry. See, I told you I'd have all the bloopers in here. So he doesn't want me to throw anything away, but let me tell you, those sheep are out there growing more. Right now as we speak, lots more. There's always plenty of fiber. So, go ahead, be brave and throw it away if it doesn't look like it's going to be nice in your yarn. Oh, this is getting better. This is getting better. And you can see I still have some on this card, but I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to leave it there for the next round. But yeah, this is getting a little better. Got caught on there. I hope, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I may have to rob from the other one and make an even number because I want to make a 2-ply. Alright. I see it popping up. I get a little news report. Excuse me, I lost a... Maybe I better set these over here. Yeah, I get in little that they are following little notices since I've gone on. Oh, I have 2 viewers, but nobody's chatting. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. All right. Hey, this is good carding music. Okay. Now, I will tell you right now, the whole goal of my breed studies, and that's what this is, because it's one of the sheep breeds that 52 Weeks of Sheep is studying this year. And my whole goal is just to see how it reacts, how the fiber reacts. How does it wash up? How does it come with a lot of locks, with not many locks? How long is the staple? Is there a lot of crimp? Does it like to spin woolen? Does it like to spin worsted? That sort of thing. So these breed studies are just something I've been doing for years and years and years and years, and love it. I love having all of these breeds of sheep in my mind. It makes counting sheep when you go to sleep a lot more interesting when you have all these wonderful names like Blue de Maine. Alright. One more. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get 6. I guessed that right. It's loose. Let me get that up there. Yeah, I kind of packed the cards that time. And you can see I cleaned the sides up. You want to have it all off the top also. I'm pulling pretty hard. I can see, you can tell I'm doing some work here. And I only use my hand cards for breed studies. Hello, CB Knit and Spin. Oh, great to have a face for the voice. Yes, I know, after so many years of podcasting, it's just been a little hard to come out from behind the curtain, but I'm really excited about doing it. And a Stitch of Composure has been a fan for years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ladies, you can go ahead and tell me what you're working on right now, if anything, and chat if you want, ask questions if you want. Boy, look at all this stuff I'm pulling off. I didn't like that last bit. In fact, I am going to recard it because I didn't like the way that worked. Okay. What I'm going to do next is the other processing part, which is combing with my hand combs. It's just hit the camera there, yes. Oh, I forget which way I'm going sometimes. But as you can see, it doesn't matter. The goal is just to transfer as much as you can onto one hand card and roll it off. Oh, I like the way that looks better. Now, see it doffing off there. Get it just about almost, pull the loose bits and take it off. And is some short stuff I'll just take out. I'm getting quite a pile here. Okay, so I have 3. I am going to clean my bats out. My cards out. Just get some of that brown out of there. Okay. Now these are my combs. These are hand combs. And they are by Forsyth. They are called two-tine because they have 2 rows of teeth. There you go. Oops. There you go. So I'll lay those there. And now we're going to have to pull some more tog. Okay. So as you can see, this has more. I put there's some of that real short stuff. I'm not going to put that. That won't comb well at all. Let's see. I'm getting ahead of myself here. All right. See the dual coat here? There's the long bit. You just grab and pull it out. All around that clump of fiber. I did this for an entire Icelandic fleece. Pull all that out. It was a wonderful project. It's very addicting to do. You just sit there and make it pretty, you know. It was in the grease. This is washed, so there's a lot of difference. And Icelandic was a lot different because the thell that was coming off at the bottom was real short and the tog was real long. This is a little more equal. It is long, but there's a lot of long non-tog also. See there? I see junk right there. Now, I'm not as picky, that's a joke, about going through the fiber for combing because so much of it will get caught by the combs. That's why you have so much waste when you comb. So let's pull this tog out of there. Stuffing it under my computer. Okay. I put more of the longer that has the tog in what I was going to comb because it does combs like the long fiber. Short, don't want that. Oh, sorry. Make you seasick. Found some more. I do love the color of this. Beautiful. That's why I pulled a whole ounce out for this combing part. Because, one, I know it's going to make a yarn I like better. It's going to love spinning worsted. And 2, it will love combing. And I might as well go ahead and use it. I only have half of the sample that I bought here tonight. The rest is stuck away in a bag. I don't use it all for the breed study. If I get a nice big sample like I got, I make myself some yarn to use later with the rest of it. The whole idea is if I work through spinning a combed or a carded fiber from a particular breed, I can figure out what it likes best and spin what I'm going to have for my yarn stash that way. Okay, hang on while I read this. Is the way you are separating Toggenthal pretty standard? Yeah, I think so. I don't know that there is any mechanized way to do it. Some people have said that you can comb with big combs and have the longer fibers come off and be left, but you're going to be left with all the junk too. So you have to have some really nice fiber to get that division and like what you have left, right? Because of the fact that it's going to pull the long fibers out with the comb when you pull your top. But as I was saying, I was sitting outside this spring. I bought that fleece raw, and I did not wash it before I separated the Toggenthal. And it just, I don't know, it was really addicting. It was very relaxing. I sat out in the sunshine, and of course, you know, it's been winter and haven't been out much, and I didn't have a lot of spring work to do, and I really was happy about it. So I just did it. That was short stuff. And that's short stuff. Could one of you two, CB Knit or a Stitch of Composer, tell me how the sound is? I can move the mic around. I know that I'm not always facing the mic, and I have no feedback on that here as I'm doing this. So can you all tell me, does the sound how the sound is as far as my talking? Please. This is all new setup for me. I had to go with some new stuff in order to do the teaching, the 2 cameras and everything. Oh, thank you. All right, thank you, CB Knit. I appreciate that. I put an awful lot of this in there. I don't know. I think it was just I didn't look at it. But this I'm going to stick back and put with my cards later. Here we go. It's interesting, on some of this short stuff, I can see like dander, and I can see it feels a little stickier. Not see, but I can feel a little bit of stickiness. Like it's on my hands. You know, I can feel it on my fingers where it has not gotten the lanolin. The fiber felt so clean, but I experienced that with my fiber too. It feels all really clean and looks clean when I first wash it and it dries and everything, and then it sits for a while, and I think the environment, you know, heat will bring more lanolin out than was really there when you were washing it. Just my theory. I don't really know for sure. Almost done. Especially because I'm not going to put that in the comb. Now, just in case you're thinking that you have to have a black fleece to be able to see the tog, I'm going to show you something else. I will say that for the most part, they say Hebridean fiber is black. Like I was saying, they bred it with the Black Welsh Mountain and all that. But years ago, when I did the first study, this is the sample. This is the kind of project pages I put away, okay? So they have a sample of the fiber at the top, they have yarn that I have spun, they're labeled, and that sort of thing. And this year, what I've been doing is this yarn that was spun in the past, I've been knitting up into swatches. I'm trying to make these less bulky because I have so many of them. But this fiber right here is Hebridean, and it's white. And as you can see, look at that. Look at the tog on that. That looks like Icelandic. That's what my Icelandic looked like. But this is a little bit softer, and it is unwashed. This is unwashed. So it isn't that you have to have the black in order to get that separation and visual separation so you know what to pull. You can tell on the white fleeces too. All right, let's do some combing. And if it feels like I'm preaching to the choir, I just want to tell you that the whole purpose for making these videos is that I can make clips. Now each clip is only 1 minute long, but as I go through and make a clip and then put it all into a folder that will say Hebridean breed study, and you can watch those clips, and so a little bit of each of these techniques and what I do and what I say will be in that. I cannot save the entire video. It will be on my channel for 2 weeks and then it goes away. So I am wanting to teach just in case somebody comes along that has never used hand combs before and what to do. And of course I'm just going right on and doing whatever I was wanting to do without thinking about it because I'm so used to just doing this stuff automatically. So we have a very sharp pointed comb, and I do hold it in my left hand. You can do whatever you want. You are going to take a bite. That's what I always call. You take a clump of fiber, you take a bite with the teeth, and you pull. You take a bite with into the fiber and pull. Let me find a good place. There it is. Take a bite in the fiber and pull. All right. That's how you load the comb. You also want to take anything that's loose. You just don't pull it all. Just, whatever little bit you can. And you can load your comb pretty full. You'd be surprised. I have read some places where they say, don't go above half. That's probably true. I'm going to get rid of the little blips there. Okay, so see, I have a nice poof here, and I am holding the hand comb with the points in my left hand with the points away from me. I'm going to hold the hand comb in my right hand with the points down, and I'm going to take a bite of the poof out towards the edge. Don't start all the way up there by the tines, just out by the edge and pull it out. Think of a very relaxing, brushing your hair, brushing your cat, brushing your dog motion. This fiber is extremely easy to comb. It just wants to pull right through there. The goal is to transfer as much fiber from one to the other. So most is on the one that was in my right hand, and there's a little bit left on the one that's in my left hand. I'm going to pull that up away from the wood and see if I can pull top off. Now you're not going to get much from this little bit that's on there. And once it runs out of anything long to give you, it'll stop. And second of all, I do not use a diz with hand combs. If I want to diz that later, I can do that. But usually, of course, I'm just sampling and I'm not going to do that. I pulled off everything that was left, and as I said, this is waste. I would not use that anywhere. How are we doing on time? Oh my gosh. We're running. This may run longer than an hour. All right. I have one little tiny little top that I'm going to pull off of here. Now this is a test because if it doesn't pull well, I would recomb it with that other comb. But it's pulling pretty good. You have to kind of work your way around that puff of fiber and just keep pulling. You can see it just gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and then finally it stops. And we have top. Now look at that. It has let some things through. I always check that. Pull it now or pull it later. You never know. And you wrap it into what is called a nest. There you go. Take off that and pitch it. Look how little I have. Okay, let's load this. Take a bite and pull. Look how little I have left after I pulled out all that tog. That's the way it goes. I don't like that. There's two clumps right there. It's funny, this fleece looked like, oh, it's just a beautiful fleece, and it did have shortcuts. Didn't have vegetable matter though, I will say that. And maybe I'm paying for the fact I wasn't real diligent as I was pulling tog out and setting it up. Okay, so we have a loaded comb. I have it in my left hand. I'm going to point the tines away. I'm going to kind of organize that puff. I got my right hand one pointing down, and I'm going to take a bite and pull and work my way back. Very gentle stroking motion. It is so weird that everything's backwards. That's why you see me fidgeting around. I can turn this over, get on this side, and look, it didn't transfer as much as it did the other time. That means there's just a lot of top on the one comb that didn't transfer. So we'll just go ahead and pull that off. See? Yeah. Oh, this reminds me of human hair. It does. It looks like gray hair. There we go. That goes away. And as I said, you can take this one and comb it again. And the reason I'm doing that is it looked too short. It didn't look puffed out enough. So I am just going to go ahead and comb it again. This won't give me anything. I mean, I will pull it off, but you can see that's just like a breath of fiber. And let's pull this one off. Now you could clamp that if you wanted to, and bigger combs are clamped to something. But when you clamp it to a table, that table's going to come right towards you with the comb. So you are better off really holding it down yourself, especially these small ones. I do sometimes pull fiber, pull the top off when I am holding the comb. I'm doing the holding it down and mostly for the camera. I'm not going to put much more on there because I got to do this twice anyway. So 2 more times. Oh, see, I went too deep. Kind of visually dividing this up in my mind. I want 2 ply, but I have a scales, I just don't want to bother getting that exact. Okay, one more. I'm going to keep it separate from my... Recently, I have been combing a lot of Shetland on my big combs and then spinning it. Oh my goodness, that makes such gorgeous spinning. Alright. Now we can put the combs away. They fit into each other. Just like this. See that? That way they're safe. And drop down in this nice little bag. Okay, bear with me here. I am going to move this table, bring my wheel over here. How is that? Okay. This is a Roberta, and I have a new drive band ordered. This one is getting kind of stretched. But I do almost all my sample work on this electric Roberta because it's got smaller bobbins. My other wheel, main treadle wheel, is an Ara. It has huge bobbins. I spend very little amount for the breed studies, and I really do want to do it quick, and this is a very quick way to do it. Okay, so we're going to take the first part of the top. This is what we did on the hand cards, and we're going to make sure we're going the right direction here. And the goal is to see if it will spin woolen and whether it likes to spin woolen. A little bit faster, a little more feed in. A lot more feed in. Come on. My bobbin would fight me, wouldn't it? Oh, I see why. Oh my gosh. I had split the yarn. I had split the leader. Come on. Okay. Total fail. We're going to put that bobbin aside. And get it a new leader. Later. Later. Let's see how this goes. I really need to work on my bobbin leaders. It's pathetic, really, to be honest with you. Oops. Yep. I heard ya. Read it through. Read it through. I heard you guys shouting back there. Not really. Okay, you now think I no longer know how to spin. That's right? Right? Yeah. Yep. Everybody thinks now I don't really know how to spin. Let me find a way to put the fiber into a loop. It went so well this afternoon. I was working with a different fiber, but it went very well. There we go. Woolen spinning. My thumb out of the way there. A little bit too much pulling. Getting too thin. I also don't like this fuzzy bit. It's all loose stuff. Probably can't see that against all that background stuff. Add another one. Let's see if we can get some good woolen going here. I made it do. Two. Hope you just asked how many people. All right. And because this is a shorter, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll go ahead and get all the way through the 2-ply. Just let it go until then, and then I'll sign off. Move my thing. I like this part. I'm no longer teaching. I'm just spinning, which I needed after all this. You know, this is not half bad as far as a Lopi style. It's not as thick as a Lopi. It's not made in the Lopi style at all, but it feels like Lopi yarn. I mean, that's what it feels like. And I kind of half wonder if I would pull top, have a drum carder that didn't have as many teeth, you know, and I could make a loftier bat, that I could actually end up doing something that would be very similar to Loki yarn. Okay, you all can see why I like sampling on this. Now I have done a lot of sampling on with the drop spindle too, but it was pretty hard to show here on the live stream because it, you know, it's way down there, down by the floor. And okay, so I am spinning on my Roberta, and I'm going to do just a little bit of a review here. This is Hebridean fiber. It is a dual coated breed, and we took the tog out. This has been carded with my hand cards. I am spinning woolen, so I am getting a supposedly loftier yarn. Oh, I got a nub here. Yeah, and that's gonna thin the yarn. Move on, stopped. Of course, I can pull and spin roving just the way you spin any. You don't have to spin a woolen, but that's part of my breed study, is to spin woolen and worsted. Joining is always kind of exciting when you want to join a new row log. This doesn't want to pull quite as well. I think I rolled it together a little bit too tight. Okay, I have a point here where, see that? See that short right there? That made it, everything was going to stop, come to a screeching halt. I'm so glad everybody came and joined me. We're going to make a quick 2-ply with this, and I'll show it to you. And I'm going to do the same with what I comb with my hand combs. Look at everything that's ending up at the bottom there. I have to straighten it all out. I really have to pretty much stop and get rid of that, because it is just a whole bunch of little nubs and stuff. Last one. Adjust the take-in again. nasty looking. Bumps. Loose stuff. Where was that hiding? Don't know. I'm going to bury my glass over here in Hebridean fiber. Don't like that. That can go almost. I'm so glad music's back in my life. I have missed it. I really was sorry when I had to stop using music in the podcast. I enjoyed that part of it so much. Of course, not everybody has the same tastes in music, so can't please everybody. This is white from what I was doing earlier today. Okay, gonna do a quick 2-ply here. No, I'm not. I just pulled my leader off of that. You talk about bloopers. I'll tell you what. I have done everything tonight. Everything. I pulled the leader right off of that. I broke it. It's because I'm thinking about what I'm saying and not anything else. And I don't have another bobbin except this crazy one. I have a spinning area set up in my living room so I can watch TV and spin and everything. And of course, I had to move everything in here today. I just didn't bother moving all my bobbins in because I don't think I would be doing so many stupid things. Let's try this again. There we go. Now I'm going to be podcasting. I knew I'd say that once tonight. I am going to be live streaming twice a week. And I do have it posted on the Twitch channel so that you can go there and look. And that is going to always try to be this time on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock and Sunday afternoons at 3. And Sunday afternoons, I plan to go for the 2 hours. The whole concept of teaching is for the Wednesdays, and the Sunday is a spin-in and a time to relax and talk and chill. And I'm more than happy to talk about anything and answer any questions or whatever during that time. But I will just have my spinning wheel and I will just be spinning. I have so much spinning to do. Lots and lots of fiber that both need processed and need spun. What I would do with this fiber next, I'm not going to do here, I don't have the time, but I don't take it off the bobbin. I'm at the end here. I knit my swatch straight off the bobbin. So I'm breaking all the rules. You know, I'm plying without letting the plies rest, and I am knitting it immediately after plying. But it does give me what information I need to know. Look at that. It came out very nicely balanced. I'm going to just leave that on there for a leader. It's pretty sturdy. So let me put this here so you can see it, and pull some of this off so that you can see the yarn, and the fact that it's very balanced. And I will knit a swatch of that. I will save a little twist, you know, like that. Are we interested in wraps per inch here? Real quick. I have a notebook. I write all this down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wraps per inch. Falls into the almost bulky. So that's woolen spun Hebridean yarn. And I may have to take it off of there just to have a bobbin. The top is so little. It's gonna be just a few minutes here while I do this. Hello. Yeah, you. Stitch of Composure says, I have plenty of spinning to complete. I'm currently washing fleeces. Oh, Cornwall and Shetland to finish washing. Yeah, that's a big project too, isn't it? Oh, put your dry band on. I'm going to wash the second part of the Icelandic thel tomorrow. I've already washed half of it, but I'm going to wash the other half tomorrow. Okay, this is combed top, and I am spinning worsted, which means nice, thin, really, really compacted single. And a little bit of top goes a long way. You get a lot more out of the top than you do out of the carded bats. On the other hand, you have a lot of waste when you make the top, so you end up using about the same amount of fiber. Look how thin that is. Of course, I'm going to take that shortcut off there. Look how thin that is. And this is a pinch and pull. When you spin worsted like this, you pinch off the fiber, spread it out, smooth it down. The top looks a little bit like the fibers are jumbled, but you can see in the drafting zone when you pinch and pull like that, you just pull them as straight as can be. Very little crimp in this fiber, very little crimp. It also is not next to Skin Soft. There's no way I would use this for anything other than outerwear or decorative knitting or whatever like that. Joining is a problem sometimes with your worsted. You're supposed to lay your fiber up along the side. I don't have much luck with that. going to do one more little bit here. No, hardly waste. I mean, after seeing me pick stuff out of that bat, right? Comb fiber is just beautiful to spin. Now, I am not going to be doing too many of these breed studies because it's a bit boring, and I don't know what the Wednesdays will be all about, but I'm always trying something, so we'll find plenty to talk about on these Wednesdays, and it won't be this boring as far as the different processing techniques. How often do I get to spin? I spin every day, or process fiber every day. It just depends on what keeps the system, keeps everything flowing. But I'm retired, so I get to spin every day. I'm going to have trouble with this leader. This is going to give me trouble. It's too short. And it looks like one of the things on my to-do list is to put some new leaders on my bonnets. Because this is like having a dirty house. If you're just living there and it doesn't matter, but somebody else comes in, it matters. See if I can get this to catch on just the end of it. Sorry, messing with my tension here. As you can see, the bobbin's not going around. That's why. So, okay. Really isn't going to work. And that one's too short. All right, I'm not going to I am not going to do 2-ply. I'm going to spin it all on here. And I will take a little pline ball and make my 2-ply that way. Alright, so we get to spin some more fun stuff here. This is called problem solving on the fly. I also want to show you that this was very untwisted there. Okay. So let's get one more twist going here. Oh, market for combs. Yeah. It depends how much you want to process. If you want to do it a lot, like a whole fleece, get the big indigo hound because you can do more at a time. And if you want to do like I'm doing with today, right now, get the little handheld ones. As far as brands, there really is no recommendation I can give you, because I've only worked with the Indigo Hound and the Forsyth, which is the little ones. Those are the only two I've ever worked with. But the biggest consideration is, if you're going to work with big ones, you should try them. See if you can find somebody where you can try them, because they can be really heavy. And if you're going to do a lot, you're going to want to. I literally hold my big hand comb this way with both hands, and it's hard on the shoulders. It can be hard, you know. Combing is something I do for maybe 40 minutes a day and no more, and then take a day off and then do 40 minutes more. But the bigger comb gives me the ability to process probably about 4 to 6 ounces of fiber pulled off. Okay. So yeah, that's the only thing I can really recommend. Is it depends on what you really ultimately want to do. If you want to take a fleece and make top and sell it, it's one of the most expensive ways to try and sell something, because it's so time intensive. I used to do that with alpaca. I would sell combed alpaca using those big combs. But if you want to do what I'm doing, and you mentioned Cormo, it can be a really short lock. You better get just the 2-tine and whatever is comfortable in your hands is the best, really what makes the best decision. So I have a single here, and I will wind it off and let it ply back on itself. But I will get gorgeous yarn. Really, really nice yarn. Okay, folks, thank you so much for coming by and watching. And I will be back on Sunday afternoon. Join me then. Until later, happy spinning.